All right, and welcome to Line Impact Podcast. We're over here at Studio 21 Salon. We have some lovely ladies with us today, starting with
Darlene Robinson,
Tracy Harper,
LaTrenda,
Ava Harris Brown,
Lia Gee.
And we have some lovely questions that we're going to ask these lovely ladies here and kind of get a little insight onto what the women think in 2021. All right.
All right, so let's start off by saying it this way so we have an understanding here of what's going on. Ladies today, they're in positions of power, right? They've come a long way from the past of being stay-at-home wives and not really having much opportunity to do this, that, and the other. So now you guys are CEOs, you guys run companies, you're pretty much self-made. But at what expense or what cost did that have to come with? And are ladies today happier being independent, successful women, or are they happier with family? You can give me your opinion. You guys don't go at the same time. But you can. Who would like to go first? So is being an independent woman who's successful more important to you than having a family?
I don't think the word more important. Like, to that, you kind of put one above the other.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's not that it's more important,
Mm-hmm.
but in this season, I am more career-oriented more than family-oriented.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not that I don't desire the family aspect, but right now, that's not priority in my life.
Okay, so, and I love what you've said. So now let's look at timeline, right? Where a woman may only have a certain amount of years to do particular things. So you have an individual who, let's say one lady, she wants to run her own company, but she also wants children. She has to make a sacrifice at some point, or she has to strategize as far as, how am I going to do this? What's going to be first? Because I went to school, and I didn't go to school for all these years to sit at home. At the same time, I want a family and kids. How challenging is that for most ladies?
I'm going through that now.
Okay.
It's hard because of the simple fact that I was raised to actually get the schooling done first. So whenever you are up and older, you're able to go out into any field that you desire, correct?
Right.
So now that I went to school for both things that I love, including teaching, I had a baby, and now I'm like, do I tend to my baby, be a stay-at-home mom like I was raised to be seen, or do I pursue what it is I'm truly here for, yet still be family-oriented, like y'all said? It's like I have to, it's hard to balance. I'm gonna be honest. Being a first-time mom is very hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I still, I live for my last name, not my first.
Oh, wow.
So if I have to just, like my ladies tell me, if you gotta put your baby in daycare to do it, you gotta be provided, that's what you gotta do. So I'm noticing this is real. This is not a play with game. I'm thankful that I'm young seeing it versus being older, stuck in my ways and just not willing to change.
So as Ms. Tracy put it earlier, it's not that one's more important than the other. It's just about adjusting as to the plan, how you're going to go about that.
Agreed.
Awesome. So now with, being in relationships and having a partner, how important is it to you ladies that a father be in the child's life? Wait a minute.
Very important.
Gotta move quiet here.
To tap on both questions, I'm very family oriented. Money don't mean that much to me.
Okay.
I don't miss nothing my family has to do. If it's my husband at work, he's a coach.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at every game.
Oh, awesome.
My daughter I don't care what she got going on at school.
Mm-hmm.
I'm there. Mm-hmm. If it's lunch, I'm there. The money gonna come. If not, so be it. But I can't get that time with my family.
Understood.
You can go get some money anytime, but you can't get that time back with your family.
Oh, yeah.
So that's me. Money don't mean that much to me.
But now, why is it important to you ladies? Now, I'm assuming you guys agree that it's important. I'm sorry I didn't get everybody's answer. Did you guys all kind of agree that it's important for a father to be in the child's life?
I agree.
Regardless of your relationship with the father?
I agree.
So now why? What are some of your reasons as to why you feel that's so important?
Personally, I feel like a child should see both, a woman and a father, even if they're not together or not.
Mm-hmm.
I can't teach my son how to be what his dad is without him actually seeing and actually going through those things with his father. I can't tell him how that is. I can't show him that.
Yeah.
Even with a little girl, she needs to see how her dad treats her mother or whatever, whoever he's with. Because it reflects her. So whenever she go out into the world, she's going to think, okay, he need to do this and my dad do this. You see what I'm saying? So it's very important. We all need it. Because right now we are very blind to a lot of things.
I agree. I grew up with my dad, and I feel like my dad was the protector of my innocence.
Wow.
I feel like even when I decided to do premarital sex, though I was taught not to, at the same time I knew what I was looking for in a husband or in a man.
Okay.
And I feel like as a mother, even though even as a single mother, not that I am a single mother, but I have been. Even as a single mother, there were certain things that I was looking for as a dad to my then daughter, because I do feel like at the end of the day, you can look to your dad for the things that a woman can never be able to give you.
Oh wow! So not having a father in the home, how does it affect the little girls in that home that men may not understand?
And
I wasn't raised with my dad. Okay, so I don't necessarily feel the way that they feel. Not that they feel wrong, because that's their experiences. So their perspective is based on their experience. But I wasn't raised with my dad in the home. I don't necessarily feel like it's that important that a girl or son be raised in the home with their dad or have their father figure in the home. Or I feel more is if it's some type of male influence. So whether it's a cousin, an uncle, or somebody, a coach, because her husband is a coach. So he fathers a lot of children that may not necessarily have that. So they may look to her husband as that figure, that dominant force in their life, and they go back. So I don't necessarily feel like the father per se, because sometimes, depending on the type of man, he's not a good role model for the children. Sometimes it may be better off for them not to be around them, you know. So I think it's a case by case basis. So I'm a single mom, so I don't have a husband in the home or anything. But I don't even really have strong male figures for my son. But I still pray on it. You know, that's something that I pray about, and so that he can still grow up and be a great man, regardless.
Oh wow! Thank you for that beautiful honesty there. Now you said something which brings me to my next question. So I think we've all heard the saying that, you know, men are trash, right? So let's go with that narrative and let's pretend as if that was actually true, that all men are trash. Well, some of you guys might be thinking, yeah, they really are. That's a true statement. But assuming that all men are really trash, my question is, who raised that trash? Because if most men, especially black men, only know their mothers, is it safe to say, or is it unfair for one to say now that a single mother now is raising trash for the next generation of women?
Well, my only perspective, I was raised by a man. My mom passed when I was 2, so all I know is my daddy never remarried, never had another woman in the house. So my approach to a man is, if you can't do nothing what I've seen my dad do, you ain't the man for me. Or you ain't. You're not gonna be a good man for nobody.
So
because my dad was routine. You know, the old school. You go to work every day. You play when you need to, but things go out. You got the money in the bank to go take care of it.
Right.
Always there from providing for the children. At home was taken care of. That was first priority. So, when I'm single and meeting men that was only raised by their mom, I seen a lack of what I've seen it from my dad.
So do you ladies see female tendencies sometimes in grown men?
Definitely.
Of course.
You can tell when they're only been raised by women. Or, the grandma was in the house, or they got sisters and they the only guy. I can tell.
Me too. Honestly, it shows when a man speaks and the way he carries himself. It does. Like I see you wearing loafers. I don't see a lot of youngies wearing loafers. I was brought up off of loafers because my great grandfather stayed walking in them Like,
She just called me old man.
you're not old though, but the simple fact is the way you carry yourself, you can tell you speaking to a man and not boy.
Oh wow.
But whenever,
Awesome.
like she said, like you just said, you can tell the difference when you're talking to someone who's just been raised by their mom, yet father, yet grandmother.
Yeah.
I'm a grandmother, baby. I have my mother too, but my grandmother, she put a lot of hurt in me. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I tend to look for an older soul, which is an older person, because I want to be guided and lead by a man, not a trash man. Does that make sense? I don't want to be trash with you.
Right.
I'm trying to grow and build. I'm not trying to dispose nothing. Do you see what I'm saying?
So, do you feel like men are trash? And if not, where do you think this saying came from? Is it just frustration?
I'm in trash. I think women have dealt a bad card, some of them. So that gives them, and that's a lot of women. A lot of people have been married, divorced, but nobody even celebrate marriages anymore. That's not a big thing. You know, I see people doing these gender reveals, and oh yeah, I'm gonna be a grandma, but nobody said nothing about we're gonna have a wedding. You know, they're getting ready to buy a house. You know, and I'm not saying that's how life should be, but it seemed like it worked back then.
And speaking of that, what is y'all stance on marriage? You know, is that a good deal for men today, as far as, you know, them stepping up and, you know, starting the whole family? You know, what is y'all's idea on that?
I feel like a man should want to do it instead of being forced to do it. You have some women force marriage on men and expect it to work. He wasn't ready in the first place. You see what I'm saying?
So you believe in giving that man time to, you know, grow into
because
that?
just because I'm ready don't mean you are. And we need to be ready together. You see what I'm saying?
I dated my husband 12 years before we got married. We've been married
12
13
years?
12 years.
You dated for 12 years?
12 years,
So-
and we've been married for 13.
So now that 12 years of dating and being together, I'm assuming you guys were living with one another.
Never.
So you just dated.
We dated.
Oh wow. So now, do you think that was a good thing? Did it help?
It was a great thing because we were both kind of coming off some relationships that we wanted to get out of our system. So the first 5 years, it was more of us just kind of getting us till we were young, 21, 22, 23 years old. So we still had a lot of learning to do. But in the process, okay, we found somebody that we kind of gel and, you know, we kind of get along really good. And then the process of it, we just kind of went through it. You know, I don't know what he did. We respected one another through the dating process. But we never lived together. Well, I just never believed in shacking.
Right.
So in the process of those 12 years, it got to be that 11th year, and I'm like, okay, now what are we doing? You know, like, I got it out of my system, I done clubbed, I done did this, you know, we in our mid-30s now, so what are we gonna do? What, you know? And the funny thing is, I asked my husband, I was like, so what you gonna do in the next 6 months? And just randomly, you know, asking. And he said, oh, I'm gonna buy me a house. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna look for me a new job, just new career. And I was like, okay. I said, well, you know what? I'm gonna let you go do that. Because all his answers said, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that. Well, in a year time, we separated for a year. And we never seen each other. We kind of co-parent. My oldest daughter is not his biological daughter. I met him when she was 1, but that's all she knows is dad. So during that process of us separating, he still parent my daughter. Now I'm doing my thing. I don't know what he was doing. I'm doing my thing. We separate. We done. And my daughter said, "Hey, it's coming up birthday." It's like, "Can I have both of y'all at the birthday? You know, can y'all both go to dinner?" Okay, cool with that. We not mad at each other. It was just time to like figure out what we gonna do. We just kind of spinning our wheels.
Correct.
And that dinner kind of like, okay, she's still cool. I guess he said I'm still cool. And we were engaged. That was in November the 7th. We were engaged December the 23rd. Hadn't been with each other the whole year.
Now she said 12 years. Could you ladies wait 12 years before you got married if you were with him?
Yeah, what's the max for y'all?
I wanted to ask a question. What's the max for you?
6 months I was married.
6
My
months.
husband 6 months later we were married.
Wow.
Been married for
No
23
move-in
years.
process, no nothing? No, just straight.
6 months.
6 months.
Okay.
23 years later, you know.
Okay, wow. Miss Tracy, what's your...
Specifically, I've been married before and divorced. I'm not rushing to be married again.
Oh, understood.
So that's something. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't.
Okay.
So what do you think a good? Because when you say 12 years, right? I know a lot of women who might look and go, no, I'm not waiting that long, right? But now I personally, I think that waiting is a good thing to see the goods and the bads and ups and the downs, and maybe also having a strategy. Mm-hmm. But I just kind of wanted to know where the balance was between men and women. And as he asked earlier, is marriage a good deal for men? I know a lot of guys are afraid for just different reasons, especially when I know divorce is a negative thing. Mm-hmm. But if you look at such states like California, and you look at a guy, so I want you guys to think about, your son if you have one, and let's say your son's successful, right? So because I got to make it hit home for you to really get it, right? So your son's successful, you help put your son through school, you help do all these things with your son, and now this young lady's coming in, and she has a baby, and she has this, and she has this, and now let's say it doesn't work out. Your son now she can pretty much have her way with him and his pocket. So moving back now, do you feel that marriage is I know it's a good thing, but from the men's perspective, do you think, looking out, is it a good deal for your son? Forget about your partner, because you don't view him that way, but the one you gave birth to.
I'm gonna say this. I feel like the only thing I can refer to is like a prenup.
Okay, keep going.
I'm gonna say, if that was to happen to me personally or my son, I would do both of the same. We have to be fair about everything. Now, if a prenup is something I have to sign and we can both agree on, look, if this don't work, this a month for this, and this, I'm cool. Then I'm not here to take everything you have. I'm not that person. That's just never been me. Mine gonna come regardless. If it's meant for me, it's gonna work. I'm not trying to take nothing that's not mine. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not that person.
Okay.
So I would tell my son, look, if she don't agree with it, y'all gonna have to sit down and agree on something both of y'all agree with. Because she don't need to leave with nothing because she didn't come in with it with nothing. So if y'all had a baby, take care of this baby. Mm-hmm. You don't have to support me. I have to support me. I'm the adult. Mm-hmm. Even if we together or not, I still have to fend for self. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that actually leads me to my next question. In this day and age, we all heard, that Kanye West, Jamie Foxx, Gold Digger song, right? We want prenups, we're all familiar with that, right? So that leads me to my next question. I don't think most men nowadays would have a problem if they were to marry a rich woman, who already has money. If she, was to make them sign a prenup, I don't think they would have a problem with that. But what is y'all's take on that? Why is that such a sensitive subject for women? I know if I was to present that to my woman, just me being honest, she'd have told me to hit the curb, carry your stuff then. Oh yeah. But that's just me personally.
It just depends on what kind of woman you
Yeah, what did you come in with? Yeah. Like how much work did you put into yourself prior to meeting this woman? Mm-hmm. If you had assets prior to meeting her, I'm sure she made her decision based on the assets that you have. Mm-hmm. Now, I feel like that's a man choosing whether he wants quantity, whatever.
Correct.
He chooses his choice. So if you have a woman, you have assets, she came knowing that you have these assets. At some point, she's going to either support you while you're still doing what you're doing to create these assets.
Correct.
Or she's going to become a hindrance. Mm-hmm. So if you have dated long enough, and if you have, being a man with assets, you should have some foresight to see, okay, either she's gold digging or she's not. So at that point, I feel like a man should say whether I have a prenup or not, based on the time you have spent with this woman. If you're blinded by beauty, then you get what you get.
Yes.
So now, and I love that answer now, but what about most guys, they're thinking, I want her to sign a prenup. But she's going to think that, oh, I don't trust her, or what do you take me for? But at the end of the day, a man may be thinking, especially a successful man, he may simply just be thinking, it's not that I don't trust you, I do love you, but I want to make sure that you're marrying me, not this money. We'll enjoy this money together, but if you leave me, you leave the money too. You don't get to take it with you. What's your opinion on that, ladies? Do you feel that maybe...
All the men?
I'm not for it. I'm not gonna. Okay. If we gonna get married, we're gonna get married on what we got, however the case may be. I'm not looking for the end. I'm looking for how to keep it going. So that's off top. Like if you date somebody, you know. If you get to know somebody, can't know. I mean, I don't know how much you're gonna know of somebody in 6 months,
right?
But in 12 years, you know that person.
But let me ask this question: is the woman or man you marry the same woman or man you divorce?
Not at all. Because I've been married and divorced. Nobody else in here has, except for Miss LaTrenda. So it's not the same. You don't get the same version of that person when you're leaving the relationship versus when you're in the relationship. So if I've worked, successfully to obtain a certain level of whatever, I'm going to protect my assets. I don't care what nobody does. And so either you're going to take that or you're going to leave that, and that's up to that person, because if that's not how they perceive it, then you don't enter into a relationship with that person. Because that's how they...
I'm not even getting involved.
Yeah.
If we got to look to us ending, I'm not interested in getting started.
So is that what a prenup is saying, kind of, in your opinion?
To me, yeah. Why would, that's looking for an end. You're expecting an end.
I can see that.
But when you reach the end, you're expecting the end. So like for her, it's a difference. Like it's just about perspective. So for her, that's a real true thing. Like she's a person that's in it for the long haul. She's a loyal person. Okay, so she's in it to that. I'm loyal to a degree. So I'm just being real.
I like how you said
I'm loyal to a degree.
I
will look at the end because I've had that experience before. So I can't negate that now. Like I can't go into anything expecting like we're gonna
just be
die out of this thing. Like, hey, I'm going to look at the end. So it's just about perspective and what you've been introduced to.
So with that being said, do you think that maybe, TV, social media like Instagram, Facebook, do you think that's kind of put a strain or kind of put like a negative look as to what realistic relationships are?
Yeah.
You're quick.
No hesitation, huh?
Because people only post good. They only post good. We're here. We outside. We this. We that. We on vacation. But you ain't posting. This Negro done made me mad. He done. You know what I'm saying? Nobody sees that.
Yeah.
So it's all a facade. Like, and I mean that's even just in the young world. They gonna go somewhere just to take a picture and make it look like they own.
Yeah.
When really, when you get to meet them, they're like, oh, they don't look like that. All this, what you see there ain't what you see in real life.
In real life,
So I think social media, TV, and all that has had a big impact because, especially through the pandemic, because that's all you had.
Oh yeah.
So that it increased the thought of people and how you perceive stuff, and you don't even know. I mean, even just designer bags. Everybody want a designer bag. But now the knockoffs are so good. Why would he want to carry one? Because you don't even know if it's fake or not.
Yeah.
So your expectations of what your girlfriend is doing or what you see Beyonce doing, do you place these expectations now on your personal life? Do you say, well, Beyonce is saying this, or whatever celebrity you may kind of that's in the public light is saying it's got to be this way, should be this way. Do you not put that energy and compare your life to what you see on television?
No, we older women. So
I'm young.
No,
I was raised by an older woman. I'm not worried about what she doing, and how she doing it. It's not my business. Just because if that works for them, that don't mean it's gonna work for me.
Okay, now
you know what I'm saying?
Now let me ask this question. So I know a lot of young ladies, or ladies just in general, they seem to be able to be persuaded to do one thing or the other. I'm not saying you ladies, but it seems as if maybe if a young lady's having some issues with her boyfriend or her husband, her best friend seems to have a lot of influence on her relationship, in which she may not even know that man. She's just looking at it from the outside, or maybe she feels a certain kind of way and, she's still my friend. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Do women listen to their friends a lot more than men listen to their homeboys, if you will, when it comes to decision making within their relationships?
I feel so.
I think so.
Yeah.
Now this generation, because I was grew up, you don't tell everybody what's going on in your house. Do you see what I'm saying? That don't have nothing to do with your friend, your best friend. I was taught to watch out for that. There's nobody's business but you and your husband. So I feel like growing up, I did see it. They on the phone talking to whoever about whatever's going on with them, and they don't have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
You have a problem with him. Why are you discussing it with her? She can't do it.
Well, because you're discussing it with her, because she can see the stuff that you can't see. She can see the outside. Let me finish. Let me tell you. Because when your friend love you, okay, it's almost like it depends on what type of friend you have. So some friends turn into family, right? So if you're inside of a relationship, you can't see when you overly accepting something versus when you're not. It's not that you're trying to it's just like a mother-child relationship. When you see your son or daughter in a relationship and they started to act out a certain way or do certain things that they don't normally do, they're in it. They can't see it. Your friend is outside and they're saying, hey, you taking a little bit too much. You know, you're allowing a little bit too much. So it's not that you are, now I don't believe that your friend should dictate your entire relationship. Now, I think that comes with how you were parented, what you were taught, your values, your morals. Like that's something your parents or people that were around you should have taught you about, character. But I don't think it's nothing wrong with your friend expressing their concerns about you and your relationship to a degree.
I'm like, I don't know that she's not your friend. I feel like that's what you go to your.
I want you to listen to me. I don't want you to make a decision for me. I don't want you to help me make a decision. I just want you to listen to me. And I mean, you can tell me your opinion about it, but at the end of the day, that's still my decision. So I don't want a friend to be like, girl, you need to leave me out. Da, 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 da. No, just listen to me what I'm saying. Take that and be like, well, or you can put it in your mouth. Well, if that was me, dog, I wouldn't do it. I get it. But I'm not calling my friend. I just want to vent. I don't need you to make a decision because I got to deal with whatever decision I make. So I don't need you to help me make that decision. I didn't make me clear some things in my head, but I don't need your opinion to make me think that or persuade me to think exactly. No, I came to you already with the issue. I know my issue. I know how I feel about it. I just really need to talk to you and just hear what you got to say. But I'm not coming to you for an answer.
Right.
And I'm speaking from a young point of view. These are older women I'm talking about. So their friends is different from our friends these days. You see what I'm saying? She said she have friends from 20 plus years. I don't have it. You see what I'm saying? So a friend, the same meaning is not the same now. You see what I'm saying?
But we started at your age.
Yes.
So we had to grow into that.
Agreed. But I'd rather not have that around me at all because what y'all saying, like she just said, you have people help you on your phone to make a negative decision about what yours anyway. I don't need help with that. Just listen to me. I don't have that. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'd rather just not do it at all.
I'm the friend everybody calls. But I'm here. I'm not never giving I'm listening.
So with that being said, do you give your advice? Whenever they come to you about your
If they ask it, now that's one thing. If you come in to ask me that, now if you just come in talking because you mad and you vent, I'm just listening to you. Okay. But if you come and say, "Hey Ava, man, this such and such happened. What you think about it? How would you react?" Or then I'm gonna give you my opinion. But if you come, girl, this such and such, I'm like, for real? Oh man, that's crazy. I'm here to listen. I'm that open ear. But in this situation, I'm not looking for nobody else to make a decision for me.